Hi.
Whoa, how you doing, Chip?
I'm good. I'm Chip Twitchell.
I'm Alex Hume.
Alex is a friend of mine, works as a controller in a regional bank, a good friend of mine that's worked, we've collaborated for a number of years. I thought the other day about recording with Alex, and I thought of the statement from That Thing You Do where the guy tells the other guy, "You are my biggest fan," and Alex has liked every one of my videos so far. So Alex is like, he might be my only fan, but he's my biggest fan. So I wanted to record with Alex today.
Well, Chip, your thought leadership on how systems work and data has been really helpful for me as I think of some of our data challenges that I work with on a daily basis. So I really appreciate and think highly of the videos. They've been helpful for me.
Thank you. So so somebody's new coming. Let's imagine somebody's new watching just this video today. What kind of things have you learned through the process of working with data and your experience in your work over these many years in the space you work with, particularly around banking, which is a data-intensive business, and the financial reporting, which is completely data-reactive? What sort of advice do you have for newcomers into this space?
Well, it's, I kind of view it under a couple foundational pillars. So the first is, understanding your data environment and what is the financial language you communicate in your organization. So do you have a common language? I mean, it's difficult if you got a Frenchman and a Chinese person to try to communicate. And if your data is structured that way, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, data is the embodiment of language, and you've got to get to a common language to have success.
So as long as we're all in a common language, then the next step is getting your data down to a granular instrument level, because all of the questions that someone has around finance and profitability and operations gets back down to events. Yeah. And whether it's a contract with a vendor and there are 10 invoices with that, or it's a contract with a customer and they pay you at a certain time frame, and it all gets down to the instrument level information. So understanding what your language is and then getting it to a base level data element. And then once you have that, having a structure to keep the language there. So in today's world, we have English majors that keep us all in line to speak that language right, and a dictionary to help us, and all those things are important. We have to do the same thing from a financial systems perspective to have good results.
I love that. Because, going back to the question about the granular data, if we don't capture something at a business event time, then you certainly can't answer that question. But whatever we capture on the transaction is going to represent everything we felt was important at the time the transaction happened, right? And so anything we captured is going to be available. Anything we captured is going to answer any questions about anything we captured.
Yep.
Well, as soon as you go to balance, as soon as you go to aggregation, it means by definition you're dropping off attributes, because to aggregate you have to choose which things are more important than others. And that choice is often what gets us into trouble, because it cuts you off from answering questions against data you captured no longer available.
And the other thing that it creates challenges for from an operations perspective is there's a bifurcation, if you will, of operations people from finance, and they both need to talk to each other for success.
Yes.
And if you're using the same language from your operational event to a financial event, then it keeps the company more aligned and together.
Yeah.
So, having the accountants or the finance people understand the operational aspects of a server, and, yes, I see that I paid $20,000 for the server, but I don't understand the operations behind it. And being able to marry those data elements together is much more powerful than if I have to go and manually research it.
No, it's some discussions I've had with other banks. I sense that the finance department in other banks I've worked in, they view themselves as detached completely from the operations side of things, and they tried to take everything that was written in French and Spanish and Dutch and everything else, and they translated it into Portuguese, when I hit the finance wall, and there was no way to communicate between the two organizations. And so the meaning of the data is lost in that
Yep.
sense. You've got a huge translation process going on there that's expensive, and the usefulness of the data declines dramatically. Whereas if you extend yourself, it can't be finance billing operations.
No.
It has to be an agreed upon language that you're going to share, you're going to work on, and that takes work over a long period of time.
And hence the dictionary to keep everyone on the same page and understanding, okay, this is how what this data element means, and this is how we use it, and this is what its purpose for.
You know, that's, I love what Alex has just come up with, 3 little simple steps, right? You've got to establish that language. You've got to make sure that you establish your environment such that you're keeping the detail, so the language you write down, you don't lose half of it when you've written it down and it goes away somewhere. You've got to keep access to it, and you've got to hone it and keep it according to standards and work on the language over time so that it remains relevant for all the parties involved. Those are 3 excellent points.
Thank you.
It's been great to chat with you.
It's been great to visit today.
I'll be happy to see a number more fans get to find you and see who you are and learn so much from what you share.
It's been a journey with a lot of great partners. Thank you.